My name is Clara Rose Whitaker, 71 years old, living in the same two-story craftsman house on Azalea Lane in Savannah, Georgia, that my late husband Robert and I bought in 1979 with his first big paycheck from the paper mill and my savings from teaching third grade. The house had soul, wide front porch with rocking chairs we painted every spring, a backyard garden where I grew hydrangeas and daylilies, a kitchen with the same oak cabinets Robert installed himself, and a small upstairs room we called the Hope Chest Room, because it held the things I'd collected over 45 years for our daughter's future wedding. Robert passed 5 years ago from a sudden heart attack while fishing on the Ogeechee River. He left me the house free and clear, a modest pension, Social Security, and the one thing we both cherished as security, a $75,000 savings account we started in 1982, the year our only child, Savannah Grace Whitaker, was born. We called it the wedding fund. Every birthday, Christmas, tax refund, we added to it. Robert used to say, "This is for her big day, Clara. She'll have the wedding we never could afford." I promised him I'd keep it safe. Savannah was 35 now, living in Atlanta with her fiancé Marcus, a corporate lawyer, charming, always talking about the lifestyle. She visited twice a year, Christmas and her birthday, always with stories of promotions, vacations, new condos. I was proud. I sent money when she asked for bridal shower gifts or venue deposits. Never questioned. Family, right? The fund had grown to $78,400 by the spring of 2025. I planned to surprise her with it at the engagement party she kept promising to host, but she never hosted one. Instead, she called one rainy April afternoon. "Mom, we did it. Marcus proposed in Paris, Eiffel Tower at sunset. We're getting married next month in Hawaii. Destination wedding, 150 guests. It's going to be perfect." I cried happy tears. "Oh, honey, that's wonderful. When do I fly out?" A pause. Then her voice, careful, almost rehearsed. "Mom, we decided to keep it small, adults only, no kids, no older guests. The travel's too much. You'd hate the flight and the heat. You know how your knees are." My stomach dropped. "I can manage. I want to be there." Another pause. "We already booked everything. Flights, hotel, everything paid. The wedding fund covered it all. You don't have to worry about a thing." The wedding fund. My wedding fund. I sat down hard on the kitchen chair. "You used the money? Without asking?" She laughed, light, dismissive. "Mom, it was for my wedding. That's what it was always for. Marcus and I needed it for the venue, the planner, the luau reception. It's perfect. You'll see the photos. I'll send videos. You'll feel like you were there." I stared at the wall where Robert's photo hung, smiling, holding baby Savannah. "You didn't ask. You took." "Mom, don't be dramatic. You're too old for Hawaii anyway. Jet lag, sun, crowds. Stay home, rest. I'll call after the honeymoon. Love you." She hung up. I sat there for hours, phone in hand. The kitchen clock ticked louder than usual. I remembered the day Robert and I opened the account, Savannah in a stroller, giggling. Robert kissed my cheek. "This is for her dreams, Clara. We'll make sure she has the day she deserves." I'd promised. That night I didn't sleep. I walked the house in my slippers, touching things. The Hope Chest Room upstairs, boxes of linens, crystal glasses, silver trays I'd collected for her table, the china cabinet in the dining room, royal Worcester pattern, service for 12, never used except for Robert's retirement dinner, the antique jewelry box on my dresser, my mother's pearl necklace, Robert's gold wedding band, a sapphire ring he gave me for our 25th anniversary. Savannah had always admired them. "Mom, these are gorgeous. Mine for the wedding, right?" She'd laugh, but her eyes were serious. The cold clarity hit me. Not rage yet, but resolve. She hadn't just taken money. She'd taken Robert's last gift, my security, my dream of seeing her walk down the aisle. By morning, I'd decided, no police yet. Bank fraud charges could take years. No begging. I'd reclaim what was mine, starting with the things she'd always assumed were hers. I opened my laptop and searched Antique Appraisers, Savannah, Georgia. First hit, Magnolia Estate Buyers. A woman named Evelyn answered. I have family heirlooms, I said. China, jewelry, linens. House call possible? She was there by noon. Evelyn was 60, gentle eyes, white gloves in her pocket. We sat in the dining room over sweet tea. I showed her the royal Worcester china, 12 place settings, gold rims, rose pattern. This is exquisite, she said. Early 20th century, full service with serving pieces, pristine, $8,900 to $11,000 retail. Cash offer, $7,800 today. Next, the hope chest contents, monogrammed linens, lace tablecloths, crystal stemware. Beautiful condition, $4,200. Then the jewelry box, pearl necklace, $3,100, sapphire ring, $4,800, Robert's gold band, sentimental but gold value $800. Total cash offer, $16,700. I took it. She counted the bills on the kitchen table, crisp hundreds. I signed receipts. She packed carefully. As she left, Mrs. Whitaker, this feels heavy. You okay? I smiled thinly. Getting there. Alone, I deposited $15,000 in a new account. My name only, online only, no joint access. The rest stayed for immediate needs. That evening, I went grocery shopping. Not the discount store, but the gourmet market downtown. Fresh shrimp from the coast, thick filet mignon, aged Gouda, heirloom tomatoes, a bottle of Chardonnay I'd never bought before. Peaches, Georgia grown, sweet, dark chocolate truffles. Back home, I set the table with the everyday plates, the good china still in the cabinet for now, lit a candle, ate slowly on the porch. The shrimp was perfect. Wine cool and crisp. For the first time in years, food tasted like freedom. Savannah texted, Mom, Hawaii is paradise. Private beach ceremony equals magical. Thanks for the wedding fund, LOL. Miss you. Photo. Her in a white dress, Marcus kissing her cheek, ocean behind. I didn't reply. I opened the hope chest room, boxes still full. I closed the door gently. The china cabinet gleamed. Full, for now. I whispered to the quiet house. Robert, forgive me, but I'm keeping my promise. The ice inside me turned to steel.
The morning after Evelyn left with the royal Worcester china and the hope chest linens, the house felt different. Not emptier in a sad way. Lighter. The dining room china cabinet stood bare where the rose-patterned plates once gleamed, their gold rims catching the light from the bay window. The upstairs hope chest room was quieter. No more boxes of lace tablecloths and monogrammed napkins waiting for Savannah's big day. I stood in the doorway for a long minute, coffee mug in hand, strong, black, the way Robert always made it, letting the silence settle. No ticking clock to remind me of time stolen, no crystal to polish for the wedding. The spaces were mine to fill, or leave empty. I drove to the bank first thing, same branch on Broughton Street, where Robert and I opened the wedding fund account in 1982. The teller, a young woman named Jasmine, who remembered Robert from church, helped me open the new savings account. Separate from the old one? She asked gently. Yes, I said, just mine. No joint access. Ever. She set it up. Online only. Two-factor authentication. High-yield interest. I deposited $15,000 cash from Evelyn's payment. The remaining $1,700 stayed in my purse for immediate use. No more convenience accounts. No more trusting blindly. Back home, I sat at the kitchen table. Same table where Savannah used to color pictures as a girl, where Robert carved the Thanksgiving turkey, and opened my laptop, searched antique jewelry appraisers, Savannah, Georgia. Found a specialist, Margaret Duval, retired from the Telfair Museums, now private appraisals. Her website was simple. Photos of estate pieces, testimonials from families. I emailed her photos of the remaining jewelry, My mother's pearl necklace. Graduated natural luster. $3,100 appraised online. The sapphire ring Robert gave me for our 25th anniversary. $4,800. A vintage diamond tennis bracelet I'd worn only to church. And Robert's gold wedding band. Sentimental, but gold value, $800. She replied within the hour. These are lovely. I'd like to see them in person. House call tomorrow. She arrived at 11 a.m. Silver hair in a neat chignon, tweed jacket, loop around her neck, white gloves. We sat in the living room over sweet tea. The good glasses, the last ones left. She examined each piece carefully, turning, weighing, checking hallmarks. The pearl necklace is exceptional. Natural, graduated, excellent luster. $3,100 retail. Sapphire ring. Art Deco. Good clarity. $4,800. Bracelet. Excellent stones. $2,900. Wedding band. 14-karat gold. $800. Total cash offer. $11,600 today. I nodded slowly. $11,600. Another chunk of the $78,400 Savannah had taken, returned in metal and stone. I accepted. She counted the cash, crisp bills in stacks. I signed receipts. She packed the pieces in padded cases like they were fragile hearts. As she left, Mrs. Whitaker, this feels heavy. You okay? I smiled thinly. Getting there. Alone again, I didn't mourn the empty jewelry box. I went shopping. Real shopping. The gourmet market on River Street. Fresh Georgia shrimp from the coast. Thick filet mignon. Aged Gouda. Heirloom tomatoes bursting with summer juice. Fresh basil, still damp from rinsing. A crusty sourdough boule. A bottle of Chardonnay from the Napa Valley. Something Robert and I used to look at in catalogs but never bought. Peaches. Georgia grown, sweet. Dark chocolate truffles dusted with cocoa. Checkout total, $162.47. A year ago I would have put half back. Today I swiped the new debit card without hesitation. Home, I unpacked slowly. The fridge light glowed. Empty shelves filled with color and life. Shrimp on the bottom shelf, berries in glass bowls, cheese in the crisper. I stood back and looked. My fridge had never looked like this. Not even at Christmas. That evening I cooked. Pan-seared shrimp with garlic butter. Roasted asparagus spears crisp and green. A simple salad with balsamic I'd bought years ago and never opened. Warm bread dipped in olive oil. I set the table properly. Cloth napkin folded into a fan. Wine glass polished. Candle flickering. Ate slowly on the porch, the swing creaking softly, fireflies blinking in the yard. Every bite was deliberate, luxurious, mine. Halfway through the meal, my phone buzzed. Savannah, video call. I almost didn't answer, but I did. Her face filled the screen, tanned, glowing, background of a resort suite, ocean view behind her. Marcus laughed in the distance. Mom, hey. Hawaii is paradise. Private beach. Luau last night was epic. Thanks again for the wedding fund, LOL. How's everything back home? I took a slow bite of shrimp, chewed deliberately. Quiet. Good. She squinted at the screen. You're eating outside? Shrimp? Mom, where'd you get money for all that? The fund was sold, I said calmly. More things. Fair prices. Her smile faltered. Mom, you can't keep doing this. The china was for my wedding. The jewelry. Grandma's pearls. Those were supposed to be mine someday. They were mine, I corrected gently. And someday isn't today. You took my today? $78,400 for a wedding without me. I replaced it. She laughed, forced, uncomfortable. Okay, dramatic. It was a once-in-a-lifetime wedding. You always taught me to make memories. I taught you gratitude, too. Marcus leaned in, smiling, charming. Hi, Mrs. Whitaker. Savannah talks about you all the time. Thanks for helping make our day special. I nodded politely. Enjoy it. Savannah's tone shifted, irritated now. Look, Mom, I get you're upset, but selling everything? That's extreme. The pearls were worth way more than you got. You got ripped off. I got fair offers, I said. Cash, immediate, no regrets. She rubbed her face. Just stop selling stuff. Wait till we're back. We'll figure out a payment plan. Marcus has a bonus coming. Big one. We'll send you photos. You'll feel like you were there. I looked at the empty china cabinet in the background of my view. I don't need photos. I needed to be invited. Silence stretched. Then, you're being selfish. After everything Dad left. After I took care of things. You took, I corrected. Not cared. She hung up, abruptly. I finished dinner in peace. The shrimp was perfect. The wine cool and crisp. The fireflies danced. The next week brought more. Evelyn sold the last small items. A vintage lace tablecloth collection, $2,900. Monogrammed silver serving pieces, $3,200. Account hit, $32,000. I opened a brokerage account, simple index funds, low fees. Talked to a fiduciary advisor on the phone, free consultation. You're in a strong position, Mrs. Whitaker, she said. This can grow steadily for years. For the first time, steadily sounded like possibility, not survival. Savannah called on day 12, voice crackling over international roaming. Mom? Hey, we're back in Atlanta, settled in the new condo. Hawaii was epic. How are you holding up? You sound different. I was on the porch swing, glass of wine in hand, watching fireflies blink in the yard. I'm good, Savannah. Quiet, but good. She laughed, nervous. Quiet? You're probably missing me. Boil some grits or something. I'll bring you Hawaiian souvenirs, macadamia nuts. Promise. I smiled into the dark. I'm finding better things to eat. Another pause. What does that mean? Resources, I said calmly. Ones you didn't know about. She chuckled, but it was forced. Resources? Like what? Change in the couch cushions? Come on, Mom, don't be dramatic. It's just money. I'll Venmo you when Marcus's bonus hits. I took a slow sip. No need. I've handled it. Silence. Then, what do you mean, handled it? I looked at the empty spots in the living room through the window. I sold some things. The china, the linens, the jewelry. Fair prices. Proceeds replaced what you took. And more. Her voice sharpened. You sold Dad's stuff? Mom, those were heirlooms. Grandma's pearls, the silver. Those were supposed to be mine. They were mine, I corrected. And you assumed. Big difference. She sputtered. This is insane. You're overreacting. It was a wedding. Once in a lifetime. You couldn't even spot me that? I spotted you plenty, I said. You spent Robert's last gift. She hung up, angry. I finished the wine, watching the stars come out over Savannah. The house was quieter without the china, but my heart beat steady. The weeks after selling the china, linens, and jewelry passed in a rhythm I hadn't known in decades. My rhythm. Morning started slow. Coffee on the porch swing, watching the sun rise over the live oaks draped in Spanish moss, the distant hum of the river carrying the faint salt of the Atlantic. No alarm clock, no rush to make breakfast for Savannah when she visited as a child. Just me, the creak of the swing chains Robert oiled every spring, and the soft call of morning doves in the garden. The house continued to lighten. Evelyn came twice more, first for the vintage lace tablecloth collection, and monogrammed silver serving pieces, $6,100 cash. Then for the last small items, a set of antique crystal candlesticks, $2,800, and my mother's embroidered pillowcases, $1,900. Each visit felt like shedding weight. The upstairs Hope chest room was nearly empty. No more boxes of lace waiting for Savannah's table. The dining room cabinet shelves stood bare. The jewelry box on my dresser was light, only a few cheap earrings left. My new account balance climbed to $42,000, interest ticking up daily, plus the small withdrawals for groceries and comforts I'd denied myself for years. I started small luxuries that felt like rebellion. A new rocking chair for the porch, wicker, cushioned, delivered and set up by two young men who called me ma'am and thanked me for the tip. A weekly manicure at the little salon on Broughton Street. Soft coral polish, no more chipped nails from gardening and gloves. Fresh flowers from the market every Saturday. Hydrangeas when in season, lilies otherwise, always on the kitchen table where they caught the light through the bay window. And the food. God, the food became my daily ritual. No more stretching casseroles or eating leftovers. I shopped at the gourmet market on River Street twice a week. Reusable bags in hand, no coupons. Fresh Georgia shrimp from the docks, thick filet mignon, aged Gouda from a local dairy, heirloom tomatoes bursting with summer juice, fresh basil still damp from rinsing, a crusty sourdough boule, a bottle of Chardonnay from the Napa Valley, something Robert and I used to look at in catalogs but never bought. Peaches, Georgia-grown, sweet, dark chocolate truffles dusted with cocoa. One Thursday night I cooked a feast for one. Grilled shrimp with garlic herb butter, roasted asparagus spears crisp and green, a caprese salad with fresh mozzarella and balsamic glaze, warm bread dipped in olive oil. I set the table properly. Cloth napkin folded into a fan, wine glass polished, candle flickering. Ate slowly on the porch, the swing creaking softly. Fireflies blinking in the yard. Every bite was deliberate, luxurious, mine. Halfway through the meal, my phone buzzed. Savannah, video call. I let it ring twice, then answered. Her face filled the screen. Tanned, glowing background of a luxury resort suite. Ocean view behind her. Marcus laughed in the distance, clinking glasses. Mom! Hey! Hawaii is paradise. Private luau last night was epic. Thanks again for the wedding fund, LOL. How's everything back home? I took a slow bite of shrimp, chewed deliberately. Quiet. Good. She squinted at the screen. You're eating outside. Shrimp? Mom, where'd you get money for all that? The fund was... Sold, I said calmly. More things. Fair prices. Her smile faltered. Mom, you can't keep doing this. The china was for my wedding, the linens, Grandma's lace. Those were supposed to be mine someday. They were mine, I corrected gently. And someday isn't today. You took my today. $78,400 for a wedding without me. I replaced it. She laughed, forced, uncomfortable. Okay, dramatic. It was a once-in-a-lifetime wedding. You always taught me to make memories. I taught you gratitude, too. Marcus leaned in, smiling, charming. Hi, Mrs. Whitaker. Savannah talks about you all the time. Thanks for helping make our day special. I nodded politely. Enjoy it. Savannah's tone shifted, irritated now. Look, Mom, I get you're upset, but selling everything, that's extreme. The pearls were worth way more than you got. You got ripped off? I got fair offers, I said. Cash, immediate, no regrets. She rubbed her face. Just stop selling stuff. Wait till we're back. We'll figure out a payment plan. Marcus has a bonus coming. Big one. We'll send you photos. You'll feel like you were there. I looked at the empty china cabinet visible behind me in the porch light. I don't need photos. I needed to be invited. Silence stretched. Then, you're being selfish. After everything Dad left. After I took care of things. You took, I corrected. Not cared. She hung up, abruptly. I finished dinner in peace. The shrimp was perfect. The wine cool and crisp. The fireflies danced. The next week brought more. Evelyn sold the last small items. A vintage crystal decanter set. $2,900. Mum monogrammed silver serving trays. $3,200. Account hit $48,000. I opened a brokerage account. Simple index funds. Low fees. Talked to a fiduciary advisor on the phone. Free consultation. You're in a strong position, Mrs. Whitaker, she said. This can grow steadily for years. For the first time, steadily sounded like possibility, not survival. Savannah called on day 12, voice crackling over international roaming. Mom? Hey, we're back in Atlanta. Settled in the new condo. Hawaii was epic. How are you holding up? You sound different. I was on the porch swing, glass of wine in hand, watching fireflies blink in the yard. I'm good, Savannah. Quiet but good. She laughed, nervous. Quiet? You're probably missing me. Boil some grits or something. I'll bring you Hawaiian souvenirs, macadamia nuts. Promise. I smiled into the dark. I'm finding better things to eat. Another pause. What does that mean? Resources, I said calmly. Ones you didn't know about. She chuckled, but it was forced. Resources? Like what? Changing the couch cushions? Come on, Mom. Don't be dramatic. It's just money. I'll Venmo you when Marcus's bonus hits. I took a slow sip. No need. I've handled it. Silence. Then, what do you mean, handled it? I looked at the empty spots in the living room through the window. I sold some things. The china, the linens, the jewelry. Fair prices. Proceeds replaced what you took. And more. Her voice sharpened. You sold Dad's stuff? Mom, those were heirlooms. Grandma's pearls, the silver. Those were supposed to be mine. They were mine, I corrected. And you assumed. Big difference. She sputtered. This is insane. You're overreacting. It was a wedding. Once in a lifetime. You couldn't even spot me that? I spotted you plenty, I said. You spent Robert's last gift. She hung up, angry. I finished the wine, watching the stars come out over Savannah. The house was quieter without the china, but my heart beat steady. The hearing date arrived on a humid November morning, 3 weeks after I met with Ellen Whitaker, the elder law attorney in Savannah who Evelyn recommended. The Chatham County Courthouse was the same historic brick building where Robert and I had filed our marriage license in 1978. I walked up the steps slowly, walker steady, wearing the soft blue dress I'd saved for church, the one Savannah once said made me look like a Southern lady from a magazine. Ellen met me at the door, calm, professional, briefcase in hand, her silver hair pulled back neatly. You ready? She asked. I nodded. I've waited long enough. The courtroom was small, polished wood benches, high ceilings, the faint smell of old paper and lemon polish. Judge Harlan Brooks, no relation, just coincidence, was a man in his early 60s, reputation for being fair but stern with family disputes. Savannah sat on the other side with her lawyer, a sharp young woman in a grey suit who kept glancing at her phone. Savannah looked polished, tan still glowing from Hawaii, hair highlighted but her eyes were tired, mouth tight. Judge Brooks called the case. In re. Revocation of power of attorney. Whitaker versus Whitaker. Ellen presented first. Clear, methodical. bank statements showing the $78,400 transfer from the wedding fund. Savannah's texts admitting the Hawaii wedding use. Photos from the resort, her in white, Marcus kissing her cheek, ocean behind. The power of attorney document I'd signed years ago, just in case, now used without consultation. Affidavits from the bank manager confirming Savannah's visit alone to reroute funds. My medical records. No incapacity. Evelyn's receipts for the sales, framed as evidence of asset protection, not theft. Your Honor, Ellen said, this is clear financial abuse and breach of fiduciary duty. Unauthorized transfer of funds meant for the petitioner's security, used for personal luxury without consent. We request revocation of the POA, full restitution with interest, and punitive damages for emotional distress. Savannah's lawyer stood, confident. Your Honor, my client acted in good faith. The funds were designated for her wedding. Mrs. Whitaker was grieving after her husband's death, perhaps not fully able to manage decisions. The wedding was a family milestone. Judge Brooks leaned forward. Evidence of incapacity? The lawyer faltered. The stress. Stress isn't incapacity, he said. Call your client. Savannah took the stand, sworn in, voice steady at first. Ms. Whitaker, Ellen began, did you transfer $78,400 from your mother's savings account to your own? Yes, but it was for my wedding. The account was always for that. Did your mother authorize the transfer? She never said no. Did she say yes? A silence. No. Did you consult her before using the funds? No, but she knew it was for my wedding. Did you invite her to the wedding? Savannah shifted. It was adults only. Destination. Travel was hard for her. Ellen held up the Hawaii photo. This looks like a large, expensive event. Did you tell her the money came from the account she and her late husband built for your wedding? Savannah looked down. I thought she'd understand. Why not ask? I didn't want to bother her. Or because you knew she'd say no. Savannah didn't answer. Judge Brooks spoke directly. Ms. Whitaker, your mother and father saved for decades for your future. You took it without permission, spent it on a wedding that excluded her, and told her she was too old to attend. Do you have anything to say? Savannah's voice cracked. I'm sorry. I was excited. The wedding, it was my dream. I thought Mom would be happy for me. The judge's face remained neutral. Happiness isn't the court's role. Accountability is. He ruled quickly. POA revoked permanently. Full restitution, $78,400. Principal plus 7% interest from date of transfer, $5,800 plus. Punitive damages, $25,000 for breach of trust and emotional distress. Attorney fees covered by Savannah. Criminal referral to prosecutor for potential fraud. Savannah stared, face pale. Her lawyer whispered urgently. Savannah stood. Mom, please, don't do this. I can't pay that. Marcus and I just bought the condo. We'll lose everything. I met her eyes, steady. You took everything from me. Now you pay. She broke, tears, shoulders shaking. I hate you for this. The words landed, but they didn't break me. I know, I said quietly. But I love myself enough to stop letting you. Judge Brooks adjourned. Ellen squeezed my hand. You won, Clara. Outside the courthouse, Savannah approached, alone. Mom, can we talk? Just us? I nodded. We sat on a bench under a live oak. I'm sorry, she said, raw, broken. I was selfish. Thought the wedding was everything. Thought you'd forgive me. I didn't see you, really see you. I listened. I'll pay, she continued. It'll take time. Selling jewelry, cutting back. But I'll pay. And I want to fix this, if you'll let me. I looked at her, the girl who used to pick hydrangeas from my garden, now a woman facing consequences. I accept the sorry, I said. But payment first. Actions. No more excuses. You visit when I invite. You respect boundaries. And you tell Marcus the truth. Why the condo fund is gone. She nodded, tears falling. I will. She left. No hug, just a quiet, thank you for not pressing charges. I watched her walk away, shoulders slumped. Ellen drove me home. The house welcomed me. Lighter, quieter, mine. That night I cooked a feast. Shrimp with garlic butter, roasted vegetables, fresh bread, the last bottle of Chardonnay. Ate on the porch, stars bright over Savannah. I raised my glass to the dark. To Robert, I whispered. To promises kept. The night answered soft. Crickets, wind in the oaks. Freedom tasted like shrimp. And peace. The court order arrived by certified mail 2 weeks after the hearing. Thick envelope, official seal. Judge Brooks's signature firm on every page. Full restitution, $78,400. Principal plus $5,800 interest. $25,000 punitive damages. Attorney fees covered. Savannah had 90 days to pay or face liens, wage garnishment, asset seizure. Ellen called the same day. It's done, Clara. She can appeal, but she won't win. The evidence was overwhelming. I sat at the kitchen table. Same table where Savannah used to help me roll biscuits as a little girl, and read every line twice. The house felt different after that. Not lighter anymore. Settled. The empty shelves and bare corners weren't wounds. They were space. Space for new things. Space for me. Savannah paid in installments. First $20,000 wired within 30 days. She sold some jewelry in the honeymoon photos as stock images, she said. Then $15,000 a month after that. No excuses, no begging. Just automatic transfers and a short text each time. Payment sent, S. I acknowledged once. Received. No more. She didn't call for 3 months. When she did, it was quiet. Voice low, no defensiveness. Mom, I'm selling the condo. Moving to a smaller place. The payments are taking everything. Marcus and we're separated. I'm working 2 jobs now. Marketing by day, catering on weekends. I get it. What I did, it was wrong. I'm not asking forgiveness, just, can I see you not for money, just to talk? I let her wait a week. Then, come Sunday, 2 p.m. alone. She arrived early, alone in an old sedan, the luxury SUV gone, carrying a small potted hydrangea, pink like the ones I used to grow. She looked older, lines around her eyes, hair pulled back simply, no makeup. I opened the door, no hug, just, come in. We sat on the porch swing, Robert's swing still creaking the same way. The hydrangea sat between us on the small table. I planted these for you, she said. Thought maybe the backyard could use them. I touched a leaf. Maybe. Silence stretched, comfortable, not tense. Then she spoke, voice rough. I'm sorry, Mom. Not just the money. For everything. For thinking your life was background to mine. For the wedding without you. For the texts. For making you feel like a bank instead of my mother. I listened. I'm in therapy, she continued. Court mandated at first, but I kept going. I'm learning. Why I did it. Selfishness, fear. Thinking happiness was big weddings, perfect photos, luxury. Not people, not promises. She looked at the empty garden. Dad would be ashamed. He'd be disappointed, I said softly. But he'd want you to grow. Savannah nodded, tears in her eyes. The grandkids, they ask about you. I told them the truth, age appropriate, that I made a big mistake With money Grandpa left from my wedding, that Grandma needed space. They want to visit, if you'll let them. I exhaled. They can come. With you. When I invite. No surprises. She smiled. Small. Grateful. Thank you. She left after an hour. No long goodbye. Just a quiet, I'll call next week. And she did. Every Sunday after that. Short calls, updates on work, therapy, the kids. No asks, no demands, just presents. The grandkids visited for Thanksgiving. Savannah drove them down. They were teenagers now, awkward, phones in pockets. But they hugged me tight. We cooked together. Turkey, cornbread dressing, collard greens from my garden recipe. They asked about Robert. I told stories. The way he'd dance with me in the kitchen, the swing he built, the hydrangeas he planted. They listened. No distractions. After dinner, they planted the hydrangea in the backyard, together, laughing when dirt got on their hands. Savannah watched from the porch, quiet, eyes shiny. Marcus sent a card through her. Thank you for letting them see you. They talk about Grandma's stories all the time. I replied, they're welcome any time. Winter came soft, fog off the river, lights on the swing. I decorated simply. Small tree in the living room, candles in the windows. Savannah and the kids came Christmas Eve. Brought gifts, books, a bird feeder, a framed photo of Robert and me on the porch. We opened them together. No big presents, just time. Spring returned. The hydrangea bloomed, pink against the green, a small miracle in the yard. I sat on the swing most evenings, tea in hand, watching the sunset paint the live oaks gold. Savannah called one evening in May. Mom, I paid the last installment today. It's done. All of it. Principal, interest, damages. I'm debt-free because of what I owe you. But more than that, I'm trying to be debt-free in other ways. No more shortcuts. No more excuses. I smiled into the phone. I'm proud of you. Silence. Warm. Then, can we come for dinner Sunday? The kids want to plant more hydrangeas. Bring the tools, I said, and tell them Grandma's making peach cobbler. She laughed, real, light. We'll be there. I hung up, walked to the backyard. The hydrangea stood tall, blooms opening to the sun. I whispered to the breeze, Robert, look at us. Promises kept. New ones starting. The wind answered soft through the moss, gentle like his hand on mine. Freedom isn't revenge. It's a swing that still creaks, a garden that blooms, a family that learns, and a woman who finally chooses herself. Every day. The fund was repaid, the heart was healing, and the porch light stayed on.